We're live. All right. Been live for a couple seconds. That was my new awkward intro. Hey, folks. Welcome back to Isobuddies Productions. We've had a bit of a hiatus. I needed to take care of myself and do some mental health stuff. So I urge all of you, if you have that, if you have anything about it in your life right now, go take care of it. Like, take the time to take care of you. Like, this has been such a monumental thing for me in my life. So for my family, my work, hopefully I start work tomorrow. Not excited. But I go back to work tomorrow. And other than that, hopefully this thing takes off soon and it'll be my life. But 100 viewers just isn't doing it. We did get one more while we were on hiatus. So we weren't doing any more videos and we got one more sub. So God bless you, whoever you were. Fantastic. We have tonight, for everyone's viewing pleasure. I forgot to do my fun intro. I'll do it next week. We have for your viewing pleasure tonight, we're going to talk to Cheyenne Boots of Pods Solo. May the pods be with you. Or the frass. May the frass be with you. He is going to introduce us to his she shed, which has come up recently for his business, basically. Housing for his business. So to kind of separate it, home and work, right? So I think we're going to talk to him about it. Let me bring him in. Cheyenne, welcome to the show. How are you, friend? Oh. Hey!
Hey, pod people, how we doing out there?
We went for the double awkward intro today.
How we doing, dude?
We're doing. I'm back on track. So,
nice.
Back to doing my show, back to doing what I love.
I wanted to add real quick to what you'd said there at the beginning about the mental health thing. I have definitely suffered from some mental health situations in my life, and I know a lot of people that have, and it is definitely something to, take care of and take care of yourself. Or, if you see somebody that's clearly having some mental health issues, step in and be a shoulder to somebody that needs a little help sometimes. And
I think that's important. I think the shoulder thing is important, but I would recommend speaking to a professional. The shoulders, I was shocked at how many shoulders I had to lean on. Just in this community, like you guys, you yourself, everybody was so great. Like in particular, like you, Wally, Ching, Scott Ellicott, Morris reached out. Like, I'm missing a ton of people. Everybody reached out like, hey man, Chris Biggs, hey man, if you want to talk, let me know. And I really did. I really, really did. And occasionally I reached out to people, but I really wanted to focus on the professional help I was getting and that kind of like structured stuff that I was getting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it's, even if it's just that shoulder or ear to chew on is just knowing that person is there, Yeah. They're like saying, hey, maybe you should get some professional help or whatever. It's having that extra support for sure, because I've been in situations when I didn't necessarily have that support and things got crazy, and luckily I ended up finding myself some help, and so
it can be really hard. It can be really hard to deal with that stuff. Like, don't try to deal with it yourself. Like, hopefully some kind of support structure. But if you're here on this channel, if you know me on Facebook, reach out to me. I will talk to you. I'm going to do a video on it later this week, I think. I want it to be very structured. But I think there's too much stigma on getting mental health, and that's really what kept me from doing it for so long. I'm from that era. Like, I'm going to be 47 in a couple weeks. And so I'm from that generation where it's like, what's wrong with you? Just be happy. What are you crying about?
Buck up there, bucko.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So much dumb, old school, go it yourself advice. Like, we're a society. So seriously, if you have access to a program or think you can get into a program and you think you need it at all, go get in the program. Like, it was the best thing I could have done. So it gave me a lot of the tools that I needed to thrive. So enough on that right now. We'll do, like I said, I'll do a video on that later this week, probably separate from this whole shenanigan.
Sounds good.
You had some news. So you've recently done some stuff with a couple other businesses, kind of a collab or assistance.
Yeah.
So what have you got? What have you got, buddy?
So let's see. Back in July, me and my daughter are huge fans of Snake Discovery and watch it pretty religiously every Tuesday and Friday. My daughter into herps and stuff like that. So I really appreciate the Snake Discovery show quite a bit. So it was like mid-July, I believe. They were reaching out for sponsors to do their build off, that they were doing an enclosure build off with different, basically, lack for a better word, pet tubers. On YouTube. We're going to go kind of head to head on, there was 10 different people, Brian Cusco, who else? Reach Out Reptiles, a whole bunch of different people. Ion from Reptiliatus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like a bunch of big names. And I can't think of all off the top of my head right now. I'm nervous.
Sure.
Nervous. What can I say? But yeah, so basically, they were doing this build off, and they were looking for different sponsors that were kind of enclosure related, bioactive related, so on and so forth. Happened to catch it at the right time and was like, "Yay! I'll do this." So I sent an email to Emily from Snake Discovery, and she got back to me the next day and was like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you." So boom, boom, bang, here I am with like big names like see who else was on the Pangea and Bio Dude and just a bunch of big names that are way bigger than me. I was like the little guppy in the big pool of life there.
That's so cool though. Like that gives you a little cred. Like they thought it was a good idea to have you on. Like,
sure. So it was super cool. So, obviously business picked up quite a bit from that, getting a little, quite a bit of airplay, being part of that build off thing. And as well as I got to interact with quite a few of the people that did the competition and stuff, talking back and forth with them. So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm going to look you up. You're going to give me some of their names and emails after this so we can get them on this tiny show. Hey, do you guys want to talk to somebody who doesn't matter in the hobby?
Yeah. In fact, I even, Emily helped me out with, I was wanting to do some packaging of my own with my own stuff on it, and I had saw in one of their videos that they done some their own packaging. So I reached out to Emily after they were done with that. I was like, "Hey, where'd you get this done?" And she totally pointed me all in the right direction. So I ended up getting all my own packaging going for like my leaf litter and soil and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Big thanks to Emily for helping me out with that.
We're going to talk to somebody else about soil in a couple of weeks. We're going to breeze right past your soil, unfortunately. Sorry. We'll put that link in the description, but that's about as far as we'll go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. So then you talked to somebody else through that too? Did you talk to some spider enclosure guy?
Yeah.
Hey, there's Rick.
What's that?
Sorry, Rick just logged on.
Oh.
Sorry.
Tarantula Cribs actually reached out to me, and we're supposed to be doing some stuff and getting some new enclosures going for my jumping spiders, like my adults and stuff that I use for breeding, and some of my spider slings, my tarantula slings and stuff. So kind of a sponsored deal, and then hopefully be selling some of their stuff on my website here pretty soon.
Oh, that would be cool. I didn't realize you were going to be selling their stuff. That's awesome.
So that's kind of, so I'll probably do a couple like unboxing video and a couple of setup videos with the stuff that they sent me for me sponsoring the scenario.
Yeah.
And then I'll start selling their goods, that are related to jumping spiders, because that's all I sell for arachnids. So.
Right. Everybody's got them, and I can never find them when I want them. I have 3 now. I think 1 escaped. But I have 2, so I have the 2 verified. I think 1 got out because the enclosures are kind of, me. I got to build my own. I got to make my own thing.
Right.
So I think one like squeezed through. The other two were too big. But the best one I have is this little Zilla situation here, which is dirty from the misting. But these are cool, I thought. But we won't get into that because they're not sponsors. So,
but they.
But if you haven't had a delicious Arizona watermelon juice drink, to be honest, it mostly tastes like pear, but it's delicious. Refreshing.
How refreshing.
So you're in the she shed now. This is, what do you call it? Because I started calling it the she shed, and
so because of you, I call it the she shed. So everybody's like, "Oh yeah, your facility." I'm like, "Yeah, it's my she shed." So
now this thing is remarkably larger than a shed. Like we're calling it a shed, but it's like it's a good sized building, little outbuilding, right?
16 by 20. It was my 16 by 20 shop that basically I had been doing some of my stuff out of. I'm sweating so profusely. I had to turn the AC off so I could hear you. So I'm so sweaty right now.
And you're in Arizona, right?
No, I'm in Oregon, but
Oregon, okay.
Like the whole state of Oregon's like on fire, pretty much.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Sorry. Oh, we're gonna lose our. I have to go back and bleep that later.
Bleep.
The wildfires are such a huge.
It's like so smoky out every day. Like it'll roll in and then like roll out, and you're like, oh yeah, fresh air. I can see the sky, and then it rolls back in.
We just had I'm in Illinois, total Midwest, so we don't have a whole lot of that. But we had the sirens go off today for the tornado thing, and we were like, oh crap! Like let's get downstairs because it just rips through my area. When it comes through, it's no mercy.
That's a whole game there.
Yeah, so then it kind of went away, and we just had 10 minutes later, the sun was out again. It was like the weirdest.
Crazy.
You know, the environment's fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
No problem. We're good.
We've had the worst burn seasons ever, you know, back to back the last like 3 or 4 years in Oregon, but nothing.
Yeah, isn't it just every year is worse? Hasn't it just been every year is worse the last couple of years?
Last like 4 years, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse to where, yeah, it's insane. Last year was the closest to us. It was about, I don't know, 5 miles from us.
Wow.
And it was like I tried everything I could to not ever have to go outside. Like we brought our animals indoors, and like it was insane. It was so smoky. Like we were on level 1, like had all my like business stuff like packed into my truck, and like and basically like we have a travel trailer that I was ready to like take all my bugs and reptiles and stuff, pack them all in there in totes and jam out if we had to at the drop of a hat.
Oh my God.
It was pretty crazy last year, and it's still pretty crazy this year, but not quite as close call.
At least this year it wasn't set off by somebody's baby gender reveal party or whatever.
What's that?
Last year, the big one, I don't remember the name of the park or whatever that it started in, but these people set off like this explosion to do a gender reveal for their baby. And that started the biggest one last year.
Huh,
so
yeah, I know the one that was close to me that was one of the biggest ones last year was it was just like a crazy windstorm that came through, and it took out a transformer, and it was so dry out that it just caught fire. And of course, when you got 70 plus mile an hour winds, it just traveled like within like 10 minutes. It had already traveled like 5 miles worth of fire. It was just went rampant. Like it was crazy. And it's
terrifying.
It started like on the back side of my wife's aunt's property. So their house burnt to the ground. It was pretty cool.
That's too much. That's just crazy.
Yeah. But anywho. Back on subject.
Now that we're going to cry. Yeah, another tangent. Whatever. So, all right. So the she shed is 16 by 20.
16 by 20. So it was originally my shop or my junk collecting space, basically. And I doing stuff like my enclosure building and stuff like that out in the shop, but it was like floor to ceiling junk. And basically I was wanting to build something or rent somewhere or something like that in order to get my business separate from my home, you know, because so it'd be more separated like a job, you know. And so Dad, you're always doing stuff around the house, but you know what I mean? So now I have like a space that's my job, you know, that I can go out to. But so I had the space already, and me and my wife talked about it, and we ended up clearing out. We have a 10 by 10, more she-sheddy that we kind of consolidated stuff in there enough to move my necessary tool stuff out there. And then I built like a saw shop on the backside of this shop in order to put like all my woodworking stuff out there. And then emptied this out. It was like 4 truckloads of just, I haven't used it in the last 6 months, like it's going, you know. So we just got rid of crap and consolidated enough to have this thing empty and went to town on it.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was a lot of work.
That's just awesome to be able to get rid of that stuff. Like, I cannot.
There's definitely a few things I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have had. I'm pretty sure I tossed that, but yeah. Ultimately, all that shit gone is probably better.
I feel like if I've had something 5 years and I throw it away, I haven't used it in 5 years, and I'd go, I'm throwing it out. 2 seconds later, I need it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really needed that broken lawnmower.
Yeah, there was a few things, like definitely a few things that I tossed that I could have used for like organization and stuff in here. And
okay.
And that really would have been awesome right now, but it's whatever.
What are you gonna do?
There
comes a time you got to get rid of stuff. You got to purge.
For sure.
Can't be that guy. Plus, then you had to have the space for all these bins that you have behind you.
Oh yeah, all the bugs.
So you said you have like 100 species now. 100. Well, yeah, like what do we call it? Variants? 100 variants.
Variants, species, and/or morphs. There's like 110, I think now. I really have to go through and count again.
That's just crazy.
That is
just crazy.
My list.
I have to ask you one specific question about your species. Do you have Orange Crush yet?
I do. I've had them for a very long time, sir.
Really? All right, we'll talk later.
Okay.
I know I'm getting rid of everything, but I'm not getting rid of my Officinalis. Well, not all of them.
Yeah.
But the Orange Crush is the one. They look like little grapefruits to me when they roll up.
Yeah, those, and I have my secret ones. We talked about them before, but I wasn't able to show you. I actually have them all separated out now, so I can show you if you want to see my Officinalis stegosaurus.
Oh, the bumpy ones. Yes. Do you want to reveal them now, or do you want to do it after the show?
I can show them real quick right now.
I mean, there's gonna be like 5 people that watch this, so it's not gonna go too crazy.
Oh yeah, check out the Teespring. We got.
Bro.
I got all sorts of cool merch stuff these days.
Okay, all right. I was going to start trying to do stuff on Redbubble.
What was that?
I was going to start trying to do stuff on Redbubble. So Chris Biggs was talking to me about how easy that is. So you put your artwork up basically and you see what you could put on it or what you could put it on. So like beer koozies, shot glasses, t-shirts, hats, whatever.
What Teespring is basically they have like all sorts of merch you can choose from, and then you upload your artwork onto it, and it's actually really easy and pretty cool. And they handle everything third party, and I get a little cut off the top, and you can set your prices basically to, you know, whatever you want to do. I mean, within reason, it has to be over a certain amount for them to make a profit. But like, I set my stuff so cheap that like I just want shirts on people's backs. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to like make $1 million off of Teespring, but so like most are like $15-$16. I make a couple dollars literally is all off each sale, but it's fun. I like to see, you know, people grab my merch and send me
It's
pictures.
kind of cool. And yeah, and you've got a whole bunch of stuff now. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So let me find one of my coolest dudes in here.
I did see a picture of these guys. I think you did send me a picture a while ago.
Yep. So I have, I think, 17 of them of different variations of spikies.
Hey, buddy.
Or different levels of the spikiness.
I'm surprised you're coming around.
Oh.
16. He's gone. He left.
He left the coop.
I can't believe he's not rolled into a ball. Like, there we go.
Can you see the little spikies?
Kinda. I like that it's a lighter gray too. All right, so basically, guys, it's a lighter gray officinalis with little bumps on the back.
Okay.
Like 2 rows of little bumps. There you go. Oh, wow, those are spikes. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
That's a much better shot.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's like an all-terrain officinalis.
Yeah, they're crazy. Some of them are like, to this, amount of spikiness, and then some of them are just, a little nubs. But basically, if they look anything like that with the coloration and the bumps, I'm pulling them and putting them separately and seeing what I can get. But they just keep producing them, and I'm not sure who's producing them in the bin, but if it's another one like it, or if it's if it's a
I swear I would just hold on to that original bin. I don't know that I would. You're the businessman, but I don't know that I would sell a single thing out of that bin.
Oh yeah, I've been offered like $300 for as many as I can give them, and I'm like, nah, I think I'm gonna do my own thing.
No thanks.
Nah, do my own thing. I'm gonna get $50 for them.
Right, that's the problem with the spikies is they're like teeny. They're basically springtails, for Christ's sake. Like, so to get one that's spiky that you can see.
Yeah, and some of these guys, I mean, officinalis, how big they get.
Oh my God, yeah, I just went through them.
They're like that size, but they got the little spikes going on them. It's pretty crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah, I had some babies escape. I was doing a count or something, and they got out, and I don't know if they fell into other bins or what, but I did my checks the other day, and I was finding officinalis in like 5 or 6 different bins, like full-grown tyrannosaur looking, just massive.
They get big.
And I was like, what are you doing? All right, so back to the topic. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Back to the topic.
Those spikes are super cool.
Yeah.
So you have 110 species or variants or morphs in this shed.
Yeah.
They're all scabers, right? It's 110 morphs of scaber.
They're all slight variances of color and scaber.
Yeah, you almost have half of them. Half of the morphs of scaber. So then what else lives here? You just showed us in the back over your left shoulder is the jumping spiders.
Yeah. So
you had some kind of fish tank.
Got a couple little tanks set up over there. So one of them has, they both have freshwater isopods in them. One of them's like basically like an amphipod, a freshwater amphipod. It's good. I have some of those, and then I also have a little tank going with some blue shrimp and some cherry shrimp. But in that tank with them, I have some Asalus aquaticus in there.
Okay.
So they're like a pretty legit little. Like, I'll see if I can even get a little vidgy action on them. They're pretty.
But they're Asalus.
Yeah, Asalus aquaticus. They sound like a superhero. Let me see if I can here or not. Can I? Can I even turn it around? I don't know.
I don't know if you can while you're on StreamYard.
Okay, well, look in the tank.
Some nice
Can you
Java
see stuff in there?
I can see something zipping around
right there in the back on the.
Move your camera a little to your right.
There's like a.
Move your phone a little to your right. Okay, your left.
My right.
There you go. There you go. No, back the other way. Back the other way. There you go.
So right there towards the bottom, there's a little dude. He's crawling this way right now. Can you see him?
Oh, yeah. The little blue shrimp is basically black.
No. This is the hardest thing. Okay, right there. There's one right there on that rock. Can you see the rock? The white rock?
Oh, yeah. They're long. Holy cow, they're weird looking.
Yeah, they look like a little, like, lobster. They're crazy.
They're fast, too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get those from Rachel?
No, I got those from my buddy Edwin.
Okay.
He's one of my Patreon supporters. And a good buddy. Do a lot of trade back and forth.
Well,
he hooked me up.
I gotta get some Patreon going on.
Yeah, hit me up with those guys and hooked me up with the shrimp as well. It was pretty cute. Really nice.
I love those shrimp. I watched a video of a guy who I could watch this stuff for hours. Such a dork. Such a dork for this stuff. So then you had this shed forever. Was it on your property when you bought the house?
Yeah, it was part of the house. Oh yeah, I forgot we were kind of doing a tour here. So.
Oh yeah, I guess we got you up. So there's the species. Oh. What are those? What are in those massive bins right behind your head?
Those.
There's massive bins. I guess those tall ones, or those short ones.
Those are clowns and zebras.
That makes sense. All right. My clowns finally started breeding, and my zebras are dying off now. I can't. All the easy ones I can't breed. I don't know what the deal is.
So basically, I'll move over here. So you see all these bins?
Oh yeah.
See, there we go.
The empties?
Yeah, those are all empties from when I moved out here. I had so many bins of the same species or morph because I would get them from different people in order to have different bloodlines. And what I would always do is, like, if somebody was buying, say, zebras or clowns or something like that, if I have multiple bins of the same, I would grab a few from each bin so they have different bloodlines. So their culture will be healthier longer, basically. But moving out here, it was like all my racks were full to the brim moving out here. So I didn't want to move out here to the shop and make this my new jam, like, already spent. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got to make some room so I can expand out here, not just move it out here to just relocate. It's like a lateral movement, you know?
Right. You got to organize. And I mean, if you have all that bloodline in the same bin, it's going to take years for it to stagnate.
Yeah, exactly. So I had and combined, like, all my bins that were doubles and triples. And I mean, I think I had 5 zebras and 5 going. And that's why they have the huge bins now. So I ate all of them. But
that's why I have my cows and my Scaber orange koi in. I have probably close to 2,000 Scaber orange koi. They never stop. They never stop.
There's definitely different species and color morphs that I have, like, a crap ton load of that, like, aren't necessarily like quick mover sellers. So, like, you know, the population kind of goes out of control. But, like, a lot of the stuff that I sell a lot and are more popular, like, that's what's kind of nice about, you know, selling them, you know, with the business, is like it kind of keeps my population down to where I'm not, like, overrun. I mean, hence being able to still have, you know, all the 6 quarts over here. You know, it's like, you know, if I wasn't, you know, moving them with the business, then obviously it'd have to be upgrading them to bigger bins and stuff because I'd be overrun. But it kind of keeps it in check by continuously being able to sell out of them.
So you're running a lot of the business out of these smaller tubs.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's like, you've got to really stay on top of your stock.
Yeah. So basically, like, what I do is I kind of keep my stock low on my website. That way I never oversell myself, you know, and I get it to where, you know, when I feel like, okay, I'm getting a little thin in that bin, then, you know, I keep things, you know, as sold out, you know, and then I kind of let things recoup.
Do you have a way on your website to set up, like, say you have, I don't know, officinalis. Let's say you have officinalis on there, and you sell them in 6-packs. So do you have a way to set up, like I have 12 6-packs. Do you have a way to set up the website to only offer 12?
Yep, that's exactly what I do. I set my yeah. I can set it up to where I can go in the negative, but I mean, obviously that's not ideal for me. I don't want to go in the negative life. You can't really put negative on living animals, so it's
right.
Yeah.
Then you're looking to outsource it to other people. Like, oh, what do you got? What do you got? Can you hook me up?
Right. Yeah, I try to keep everything to where it's stuff that I breed. I don't like, getting them from other people and just turn around and selling them. That's just not my jam. I mean, like, people do it, and that's fine. That's how they do it. But this is how Pod Solo does it.
Yeah, I only knew one person that did that, and they were doing it like large scale though. Like they were doing some wholesale stuff. So
yeah,
that's a little different to me. Like
you
and most of the guys that I deal with and ladies, are selling them to collectors and to potential breeders. It's not like you're selling them to a chain of pet stores or something like Petco or whatever.
We're not bringing them to Petschmo.
Right. Actually, we're going to have somebody on from Petschmo pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
We're going to talk about the pros and cons of that too. I'm excited for that episode to get out there because I think there's a lot of, having worked at those places, I think there's a lot of bad they do for the company, for the industry, and for the hobby. But I think if you get the right people, if they support their people, there's a lot of good they can do too.
Oh yeah, I've definitely gone into different ones, a different location, better than other ones, because there's a staff that cares more than the last place did. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
that'll get more into my politics too. We're going to get a little bit into my politics on that episode. We're going to talk minimum wage. We're going to talk paying people what they're worth. Oh shit, socialism.
Right.
Living wages. What? So all right. So you've got your massive colonies in the big bins. There were some taller tubs that are just behind your spine now. There were 2 massive tubs. There you go. Just back up. Nope. Just they're behind your head. They're directly behind your head right now. There you go. What's in those guys?
I got Hoffman Siggy Black there and all the common scabers.
I like that it just says common.
Yeah.
So what is common? Are there a bunch of morphs in there? Is that like your lottery mix?
No, that's literally just like the style that I could find around here if I went out in my backyard, basically. And
God.
they sell very few, very very seldom. So it's like it's giant culture in there, and like whenever we do say a whole chicken or a whole turkey, me and the kid like to take the wishbone and throw it in there and let them clean it up. It's kind of creepy. But yeah, definitely like that's the bin. Like when I toss in like the ISO grub minnows, like
oh yeah.
By the next day there's like 18 skeletons of little fish in there. It's pretty crazy. They just
I had that with my Vulgare that I caught. That's how I started, was Vulgare from the backyard, because I was like, let's see if this is cool or not. Because I got into it from Wally's videos, actually. I don't know how I came across Wally's videos. I was looking into caring for a crested gecko that I had just adopted, and I wanted to do it right. So I found Supreme Gecko. I'm like, oh, that's the title. Let's look at this guy, what he's got to say. So then I got into all these other things, and I was like, Isopods? What? That's roly-polies, bro. So I just released like 2,000 into my yard.
Nice.
Because they were mine. I bred them from the yard. Like that's where they came from. So I was like, this is too much. I still have 2 colonies of them in the house. Right. But now if you go outside and it's even remotely humid, they're just
everywhere.
They're everywhere. So there's no junk, anything in my yard. Like it all gets processed immediately. When I mow the lawn, it's just gone. I feel like we need to market those as feeders. Those common ones. I feel like you could help sustain your business if you sold them as feeders. Yeah.
Yeah, they totally could be feeders for sure. Like, they're nutritious. I mean, they're like eating shrimp. So,
Right. But like, what do you think would be some of the best candidates to eat those?
I for sure have seen bearded dragons in this very room eat isopods.
I have toads. I have 2 toads that I caught a couple years ago.
Trying to do bioactive the first time.
For the beardies?
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, I feel like if you guys marketed the common ones as feeders, you could make some money to kind of help pay the electric bill in the room. You know what I mean? Pay for the electric of the she shed.
For sure.
So once you buy those 47 tiny AC units.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I want to see it, bro.
So, all right, I'll give the backstory while you find it. So Cheyenne was worried about overheating because his AC unit was crapping out on him in this thing as soon as he moved things over. And so I was like, check this out. I sent him a link for this like handheld AC unit. And that's it. Cheyenne called it a Barbie AC, and I think that's appropriate.
That's a Barbie AC.
Yeah. What'd that run you?
Oh, it cost, let's see, $108 to get it to my house.
I never felt so bad for a recommendation in my life.
I was so excited when you sent me the link to that. I'm like, oh, it's got to be the bee's knees, So, of course, I immediately ordered it without even looking at the dimensions or nothing. And then, like, 3 weeks later, I received this Barbie AC. And
it comes in this little box, probably. And you're like...
no, actually, it was a huge box, but it was a tiny box with wrapping and all sorts of foam and stuff inside. Like, I'm like, oh, sweet. Yeah, it is good sized. No.
It's like one of those joke gifts you give somebody.
Yeah, like legit.
Like, where is it? Where the hell is the thing?
Bottom of the box, Oh, it was horrible. But yeah, like 2 weeks later, I see it at my local hardware store for $45, and I'm like, ah. And then I see like a week later at another place locally for $40. Ah.
Yeah, seen on TV.
And then I talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I picked one up down there at the canned food warehouse for $10." And I'm like,
$10. Thanks, Mom. Thanks. It's a real swift kick in the nuts, Mom.
Add an insult to injury there.
Yeah, at least you could sell that one back for $10. $8 used, probably. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that keeps something cool. If I had like a desk job, it would be legit, But like in here, like it works for like an hour, and then it's like it was never even there. Just blowing air around like a fan. No,
you get one per rack. You get 1 unit per rack.
Per bin. I'm almost positive it would fit in a 6-quart bin.
Let me find you some tiny furnaces too, so you can have like just a thermostat on each bin.
That would be perfect.
And then you get a tiny HVAC guy to come to your house, like this little G.I. Joe guy, like, I'm here for your HVAC. I'm flushing it out for you. Yeah. I don't know why HVAC guy has a stroke mouth, but
gotta have them like that, see?
Yeah, I'm handy.
And probably
it keeps changing.
Oh man, where are we going here? But anyway,
I don't know.
Going around the room. my crap up there is kind of my catch-all of like old stuff that I probably need to get rid of. And then down here is my big red-tailed boa.
Okay.
Probably see her head sticking out of the...
Oh, yeah. I was not even looking at her head, but there it is right there.
She's exactly 8 feet long. She came out
Fantastic.
And she's exactly 8 feet. I've had her. She's actually 24 years old.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then here's this dude. It's my carpet python. It's Loki. He wants out right now.
Those guys are so pretty.
So we're going to let him out.
Do you just let him like chill out in the room?
Oh, yeah. Come here, buddy.
That's another bonus to have in the she shed.
Oh, yeah, dude. So like him and my tortoise and my red-tailed boa and a couple of the other snakes, I just kind of let him roam around, especially this guy, the carpet python. Like, he literally like just does laps in here.
That's awesome. He knows his way around.
Oh yeah, yeah. He just literally does laps around. He'll climb up to the top of stuff, and then pretty soon he'll go back to his cage and hang out. And
he'll just go back in there on his own.
Yeah, he just goes back in there, gets a drink, something, comes back out. like when I'm doing like shipping and stuff like that. Like I just let critters out and let them jam around the place, and
that's such good enrichment for them too.
Well, and it's cool because when I first started doing it, like they were kind of like most caged animals, you know, like they would go try to find a spot to hide.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Try to find a hiding spot. But since I've been doing it so much, since I've had this going, like they're chill now. Like they come out and they're like, they know that it's their time to, you know, it's their yard time.
It's just part of their territory now.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, like they legit like this carpet python right now. He's just chill, doing his thing.
Yeah, he doesn't seem concerned about anything at all.
Yeah, no, he just comes out and crawls around like it's like he owns a place. But yeah, he legit comes to the glass and like a puppy dog, like, come on, get me out, man.
I'm amazed. I haven't been into these. All right, see you, Rick. I'm amazed since doing the show and getting to know people in the herp industry at how intelligent these guys are and how inquisitive, because in the cages they just sit there like lumps.
Oh yeah. So now he's checking out the bearded dragon.
Look at the beardie's like, F you, back off.
Well, and it's funny too because the beardie is like probably jealous.
Oh, does he get out too?
Yeah, the beardie gets to run around all over the place. In fact, over here I have like my dog's bed, so when the dog comes in here she can have her little bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beardie's favorite place to chill.
They have so much personality.
The tortoise and the tortoise, a 50-pound sulcata tortoise over here, just likes to get out and go over there and lay on the dog bed.
If it wasn't for the tortoises just taking random dumps, I would get a big tortoise to just run around.
Oh yeah, well, and
they're just so cool.
And for like this winter, because it just free roams out in our backyard all summer long. Like right now, it's starting to get kind of cold at night, so we started bringing it for the nighttime. But I'm going to kind of redo the little corral, if you will, for the tortoise, so it can actually have free roam of the entire place in the time. So it'll have the nice, 16 by 20 space to be able to jam around in all winter long.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it'll have his own little heat lamp in there and everything to make sure.
Have like a basking area and a UVB and all that stuff in order to retreat to. But yeah, it'll have the free roam of the place. But what I have to do though first before that is I need to make like some bumpers basically to go in front of all the glass enclosure by the floor, because she doesn't realize that glass is there and she's almost broke it a few times. So that's why she's kind of in her little pin. So,
gotta get some logs. Just throw some logs in front of there. It'll be fine.
Well, there's locks on stuff, but it's like she just wants to walk through the glass. So it's like, time to put a bumper board on that so she can't get through there. Here's the
there's a little mini fridge. Oh, he's already up on the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's jamming, dude. He does his thing.
They're such pretty snakes. I just love that bold black and gold together.
Oh, it's so awesome, dude. He's like one of my favorite. But yeah, I got my little mini fridge out here for the reptile foods and whatnot, the fresh stuff, and then I got a freezer out here for my frozen rodents for the snakes, and pretty well self-contained out here for all my business stuff and all my critter stuff. It's pretty sweet.
I think it's awesome too to just have them out there, and your family can come out and enjoy them if they want to or not.
Yeah. My wife likes the house a lot better now because it's funny. I moved all the stuff out here, and then she's like, "Hey, we should knock the wall out where your room used to be." So now that's just part of the living space, so I can't move back into the house. Pretty sure.
Nice.
This.
Nice.
Come back in the house.
She was like, I gotta knock this damn wall out of here today. You're moving her last bin out. She's got the sledgehammer. Like, nice. He wants to be the Burger King. He is the Burger King. Just look at him go. He's like, bro, open that freezer. I need a snack.
Right? Yeah, he just does his thing. Oh, he's about to knock that off. Come here, buddy.
So you couldn't have like your Funko Pop collection out there. You would just trash it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's for the most part fairly snake proofed in here to where they can pretty much do whatever the heck they want for the most part. But there's like one spot that I'm like, no, you can't go there because that would be horrible for you to get behind there. And I'd have to tear the whole joint apart to get you out. So I have to like pay attention to one spot. One spot you can't go in, buddy.
You got to get that chicken wire.
Yeah, something. But yeah, so yeah, back to stuff and things. So over here, my ball python enclosures.
Okay, so you got a couple of those.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Oh, he wants out too. Look at him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll get him out too.
Can they coexist? They're not going to be like aggressive to each other or anything?
Oh no, I let the snakes out. The only things that I don't let out together, obviously, is like the beardy.
Yeah.
And actually, the beardy and most of the snakes will be fine, but like carpet pythons will eat beardies in the wild. So, you're all dirty, dude.
He is one fat snake. Oh my god.
Let him jam. He's on the workbench now.
All right, so let's get back to some of the questions about the she shed. So what would you say are the biggest like pros of having the she shed besides your wife being able to knock out walls?
Well, one we're going over right now, being able to have, my animals be able to free roam and do things out here without them getting inside of the couch or, you know what I mean, freaking my wife out because it's underneath the bed or, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can, like usually when I get out my big red tail, like I'll lock the door so my wife doesn't come in and be like, oh my God. She's not super keen to the big snakes.
I imagine.
But yeah, so that's some pros to it. Also, being able to keep things separate, my life stuff inside the house and having this space out here, it's kind of like it's easier to be like, okay, I'm going out to work. I got to go do stuff for work reasons.
I like that because I feel like that would be the hardest part of working from home.
Oh,
so
it definitely has changed a lot. Like my daughter would, every once in a while get upset, Dad, you're always doing work stuff, and it's like, well, I kind of work from home now, so it's like,
yeah,
do that. So now it gives me an opportunity to set things aside and like have workspace time out here and do that. I'm always like doing stuff, but my arm should be over here.
Perfect.
I talk a lot with hands, but you can't even see it. Here we
go back to your seat. That's fine. You can go back to your seat and set your stuff down. Let your hands roam free.
Where'd that snake go? Anyway, so yeah, it is awesome to be able to set some time away in the evening time to go like prep orders or whatnot, and it's not like Dad's sitting right there, but he's working, like it was in the house.
Yeah,
it's like I need my space, I need my time, but now out here, it's like I get that,
because she's younger, right? She's younger.
Yeah, she's 8. She just turned 8. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be hard for them to understand even at that age.
For sure. And she's been awesome. Like we do a lot of stuff with the business together, and she's my second in command basically. And she's awesome. A lot of help with video stuff. Like she's my cameraman most of the time.
Nice.
unless there's something good on TV, then I become my own cameraman. But hey, babe, let's go shoot a video, and she's like, "Nah, man, this show on Disney is awesome. So you go do your thing, Dad."
Just watched The Mandalorian like 6 times.
Right.
I just saw they did a show with Doug from Up, Doug the dog, and it's a show, and I need to watch it because he is one of the greatest characters of all time.
Nice. Yeah, I know that short that I've seen with him in it at one point.
I just hope that they don't make me cry, because if you don't cry when you watch the movie Up, I don't want to know you. You're a monster.
Yeah, it's
like you cry before the credits are open. Before the credits are open, you're like almost ugly crying.
Yeah,
and then like I had a piece of crap dad like Russell, so like the end when Carl's there with Russell getting the ice cream, I was just like, "What the? That's beautiful." Or he's getting him his badge. He's getting him his badge at that.
He's there for him, man.
Yeah, and Russell's just waiting for his dad, and then Carl just comes on out here. That actor just died, Ed Asner. I was like kind of beside myself.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's up there with crap, I can't think of her name now. The wife. Whatever. The weird kid. His wife, Ellie. Ellie. Carl's with Ellie now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't cry it up, you're a monster. I don't want to know you. So if you watch this, put something in the comments. Give me some reasons, because you lack a soul, and I want to know why.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. There's a lot of really good movies that I never even watched, when it first came out. But having a kid now, it's like, you get a kid again and watch stuff like that and go, oh, whoa, that was actually really good.
Yeah. And they're smart. They put in enough stuff for the grown-ups that you're like,
I got to catch
all right, this was worth it. Where's he at now? So I don't have snakes, but my yard is littered with garter snakes. Like, literally they're everywhere. So every time I mow the lawn, I have to mow super slow. Hey, there's DEA. How you doing?
So basically the snake right now is looking up there. Going,
yeah.
So how do I get up there?
Does he want to go back? Is he ready to go back, or what the hell?
He's wanting to go back, or if he's trying to figure out how to go up or more. He wants to go up. You're talking about up.
Yeah. I love how they do that. Even the garter snakes, like that's what made me think of it. Like when I'm going by the mower, I'll see one zip off, and then he'll like 10 feet away, the little head will pop up like, all right, where's that jerk at now? Oh, no way. She's in there with him?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're doing great, DEA. I still need to get a hold of you and get you on the show. I have free roam right now, so you just pick a Tuesday, brother. Let me know when you're good.
But yeah, Python literally just does laps in here, around and around and around the room. Sometimes he goes high, sometimes he goes low.
That's such good exercise.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So when are you getting an alligator? When are you gonna get an alligator for that room?
I almost did a couple times in my life, but that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I just watched a video. We could talk about it later, or I'll talk about it on. I'll send a link to it. Clint's Reptiles did an interview with a girl who just got.
Yeah, I just watched that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So if you haven't watched it, go to Clint's Reptiles on YouTube, and it's like one of his newest videos. He interviews the girl who got rolled by an alligator at a kid's birthday party show, and she's fine now, mostly.
Shook up for sure.
Yeah. It was a really good video. Clint is awesome.
Clint was actually one of the guys that did the Discovery, the Snake Discovery build-off as well.
Did you get to meet Clint?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. No. He put, I'm pretty sure he used some of my bugs.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's like the Kevin Bacon of herpetology now. That's you.
Yeah. Clint from Clint's Reptiles, Dave Kaufman. So many different people. Els from Els Reptiles. Gosh, who else was in that? Oh man, you'll just have to check it out. Check out the Snake Discovery enclosure build off.
I'm gonna have to. Now, did you build an enclosure? Or you
each one of the people did like their own video. So what's that?
Did you build your own thing, or did you just supply Isopods? Yeah, I know it got real weird.
And sent them over there, but it was cool getting to watch them put my isopods in their enclosures and stuff, and
so
like
cool.
talking about, oh yeah, and I added pods, and they get shots of the isopods, and I'm like, those were in my bins. Those came from me.
Did they mention you? Did they know, or were they just like, yeah, they're isopods?
Yeah, like all their flyer stuff, and they
mentioned.
That's dope. Yeah, Snake Discovery talked about each one of the sponsors and did like a little kind of mini shout out to every company that did the sponsorship. So it was pretty cool. Pretty awesome experience.
Did Russ Wilson do one too from Aquarimax?
No.
I recently saw a video of him and Clint do a build off.
I bet that was because of that. Like a lot of people, it kind of stemmed people to do like there's several different like pet tubers that like make the cut or whatever the scenario was. There was only 10 people did the Enclosure build off, so there was like other people that were kind of like self-proclaimed I should have been there.
Okay, all right.
Well, since you're invited, I'm going to go ahead and make a cool enclosure so you guys can check it out. I saw like several videos like that. So, but I even did a little enclosure thing, just like a revamp of one of my isopod bins, just to kind of, I was inspired by watching all the enclosure build off stuff. So
I kind of love those videos. Those are kind of my favorite ones, the builds, because you get to see stuff. Like what bothers me though are the ones where the guys are like, I don't want to shout out names, but I have to because this is the ones that I see as Dion from Reptiliatus.
Mm-hmm.
Like Zilla or whatever will send him like $1,000 worth of stuff to do a build. And he's like, oh, I'm going to just do this build. And he throws it together and you're like, well, yeah, man, if I had like $1,000 to throw together a thing for guppies, I would do that, but I don't. So, and that's cool. Like he worked hard to get the sponsorship, but it's like, I'm just throwing his name out because that's where I saw it last time. But it's like the guys that have like the sponsorship or they have the connections, they're big enough to get those connections where they're going to get that stuff.
Right.
Zilla, call me. I will build whatever you ask me to build.
Call me. Do a build.
I will do a build. And my builds are crazy, son. So they're not great, but they're crazy.
Yeah, I was actually impressed. The dude from Reach Out Reptiles, he ended up winning the enclosure build off, and it was not an enclosure that you would think. So you totally got to go check that out. And video on that. But yeah, it was like not the normal build by any means, and he ended up winning it. So. And it was a really cool, like sentimental type of speech that he kind of gave at the end, talking about it, and it really kind of hit me, because it was a lot like my childhood, what about. So go check that out. So you can.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, you'll have to let me know or send me a link.
Yeah, I'll shoot.
And then I'll shoot the link. I'm gonna have a lot of links at the end of this video.
So many links, all the links.
So what's the worst thing that's happened? What's the worst part of having your she shed? Oh, can we call it a shy shed or shy shed?
Yeah.
Shy shack? Shy shack, because Cheyenne, shy shack. Get it?
Sure.
I don't know. It's probably too late to change it now.
Yeah, it's already pretty well stuck, bro. But yeah,
damn it.
Definitely the drawback is this particular outbuilding is in the direct sunlight, like from sun up to sundown. So, and there's no window, so I had to punch a hole in the wall to put in an AC, and I went with an AC that I thought was gonna do the job, and it doesn't quite do the job. So like it's been an insanely hot summer. Like we had a day that was 111 degrees back in July. It was like 92 degrees in here when it was 111 outside.
Oh my God.
Not keeping up. So surprisingly, everybody did fine. I was like losing my mind about what I was going to do. Like if it got to 93, I was going to move all the isopods in the house, But at the same time, it was like it was scary because it's like, okay, if it hits that point where I'm gonna take them all in the house, it's like, then I got to run them through 111 degrees to get in there. You know what I mean? So it's like, am I doing better by leaving them where they've in a temperature that they have kind of gradually got to throughout the day, or run them through the house or into the house through 111 degree temperature into awesome 72 in the house,
would that put them all in shock? Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, I'll just kind of let it run its course and see what happens. So I didn't lose not one isopod from that whole thing. So
you got to build one of those hillbilly AC units.
Yeah, to people out there, your isopods, as long as it's not a drastic temperature change, they did just fine in here at 92 degrees.
We had a question from our one viewer. So our boys at DEA want to know how long you've been keeping isopods, what got you into them, and what got you into reptiles. So that's a 3-parter. That's a big question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long one. So what got me into isopods? Okay, so I had been hearing about this whole bioactive business, and I'd already into reptiles and amphibians, the herp culture. And so when I started hearing about the bioactive stuff, I was kind of intrigued, because I've also been into like coral reef stuff and planted tanks and stuff like that with the aquarium world. So, thinking of something going into my reptile habitat that would be like having a naturalized scenario, like in a reef tank or a planted aquarium, was kind of to me, So I, kind of looked into it a little bit, and I kind of dabbled a little bit with the backyard pods, the good old Vulgare and Scaber,
We don't have Scaber. So as far as I know, we have like the Brickyard. I don't know. They're like some kind of, it looks like a Porcellio, but it's not. It might be an Acinialis or a Skinalis.
Yeah. We have
Scinoliosis.
We have Vulgare. We have Aniscus acalis. We have Scaber. We have all sorts. In fact, there's some crazy ones at the coast here in Oregon that I still haven't acquired yet that I need to go acquire. Apparently, they live in some crazy cave down on the surf that's only open when the tide's low, but apparently they're like the size of your thumb. And so I'm like, I got to go get some of those.
So they live in marine environment, or they?
Apparently they like live off of, from what I gather, like eating kelp and algae.
Oh, are they like under the sand? I've seen these.
No, they're not even under the sand. They like hang out like in the cave walls and stuff inside these caves.
Okay.
Come out when the tide's low and like eat the washed up seaweeds and kelp and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's super weird. So I'm curious to actually be able to sustain them, in a culture mainland, without having that coastal air. But we'll see. I have a lot of back experience with reef aquariums, so I'm hoping I can kind of put 2 and 2 together and maybe keep those guys. But getting back on subject.
Yeah. Sorry.
I started out doing bioactive with just some of the guys out of my backyard, just trying it out. And I started, seeing all these different isopods. Like obviously a rubber ducky threw me for a loop. What?
That was the original. That's the original, like, what the hell isopod?
Yeah. So I seen that and I thought people were just insane and crazy out of their mind for buying bugs like that with crazy prices like that. And then I started collecting a few different ones here and there, and then pretty soon it doesn't seem so crazy. And you get them and they're stinking adorable. Like, oh my gosh, like we've talked about it before, the cappuccinos. You haven't lived unless you've seen cappuccinos in person. They're so adorable. Oh my God.
I've seen them in person, and then I saw that price tag and I was like, put these down. Get these out of my hands right now.
Right. But it's always like a waiting game. Everything always seems to come down in price. So.
Yeah, but I mean, even if rubber duckies and panda kings are my main one for price. Like,
right.
If Panda Kings aren't down to like $30 a dozen right now,
right.
There's no justice in this hobby. But if you can get it, get it.
There's that duty. I got to go find the ball python. Oh,
so what got you into reptiles?
So reptiles, pretty much my entire living career.
Yeah.
Since I was like as young as I can remember, I have always, picked up the garter snakes in the backyard, and when we'd be out camping and stuff, I'd catch that blue belly, fence lizards or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was always kind of like the reach out reptiles guy I talked about in his enclosure build off. It was always like play for it for the day, or play with it for the day, and then you let it go at the end of the day sort of deal. I never got to keep them as pets.
Sure.
Till I was old enough to buy my own enclosure, buy my own, stuff like that. And my very first reptiles that I actually kept was the blue belly lizards that we have around here, native. I kept a handful of those in an aquarium that I bought all the stuff for, saved up my movie money.
Right, your allowance, whatever. Yeah. Paper route.
Yeah, so I saved all that stuff up, got an enclosure, and started keeping those guys. I think I was like 7, maybe, something like that.
Okay.
It grew as a passion from there, and yeah.
7, wow. I remember trying to keep a snake in a shoebox under my bed so my mom wouldn't find it. Yeah, like an hour later when it got out of that shoebox, she found it. It found her. Nice. The next question we have is from Morris, who just popped in. So we have 2 viewers right now that I know of. Yes. What species, do you have a species that you regret adding to your collection? Like I do?
Let's see what's going on with my snake real quick.
Oh. Okay. Oh, he's checking out the Isopods. He's going to find the one that you don't want to have.
Yeah.
Or he's about to knock down all your 6 quarts.
Oh man, he's just jamming, doing his thing.
Did you find your ball python? Did you find him?
Yeah. He got out of sight. He's underneath there.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, so ones that I regret adding to my. Let's see. I can't really think of anything necessarily that I regret per se. There's definitely ones that. I wouldn't mind giving away in large. But I mean, each one has kind of their own jam, and I like something about them. So, I mean, there's not too many that I would necessarily regret.
That's the same. Like talking about getting rid of most of my collection. I was like, every time I go through my feeding and checks, I'm like, oh, now I got to keep this one. Oh, now I want to keep this one.
Yeah, there's always something about each one of them that I like enough to keep them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like for me personally, like I don't personally purchase or trade for things that I don't want for me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like it's something I want to collect first and foremost, and then when I have enough in my culture, then that's when I, put them up on the website. But obviously, like, I don't get things just because everybody's got it or, that'd be a good seller or whatever. I get things.
Yeah.
I'm a hobbyist. I like to have different bugs, lack for a better word. So it's kind of just a secondary perk to be able to, when I start getting overrun, okay, cool, I can put them up on the website now. So
nice. I'm going to field this next question because we've talked about it 4 times already. DEA, you would know this answer if you had started at 8:30. What the hell, bro? How many species do you have in your collection? 110 variants, we called it. So there's species with morphs.
Yeah, I would have to go through and actually, because like I say, I've lost count after 100. You just kind of start losing count. All the bugs, so many bugs.
Oh, phew. DEA laughed out loud. That's good. I was worried. My humor doesn't always go over very well. No, that's awesome. 110 is respectable. I have 37, and that's a lot. That's a lot for me to take care of.
I feel like when I hit like 30, it was like, it's like the turning point. You're like, do I really want to get more?
Yeah.
You know?
When I hit about 30, I was like, okay, I could go balls deep in this or just ease off the throttle. And I did. And I stopped at 37. I was like, actually, I stopped before that. And people started giving me stuff to get me back in. And I was like, you sons of bitches, like, leave it alone. Because then you get that itch, right? Like, so Scott,
hey, man.
Yeah. So Scott from Isopod Freak was like, hey, man, I got this guy that's doing trades. You got to do trades. You can get, what did I get? I got Pack Chongs and Panda Kings.
Yeah.
For like a crap load of stuff that I already had.
Right.
Like he wanted a bunch of dwarf whites and dairy cows. And honestly, I was like shy about giving him the Scaber, the orange koi.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave him, I think, 500 plus. And
oh, dang.
I didn't even notice a difference in my bin. I was like, did I give him anything? Did I forget to pack them? Because there's no difference. Like my dairy cows still haven't recovered from those numbers, but those Scaber, man, they don't give a damn. They're like, whatever. I easily have 1,200 to 2,000 of them.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
DEA says, do you have a goal in mind when it comes to the hobby?
Do I have a goal in mind?
It's not quite a hobby for you anymore, though. It's your full-time gig, right?
Yeah.
Like this is your
the full-time gig. I guess my goal is to be able to be self-sufficient enough to, just continue to keep this as my full-time jam. And obviously, fads come and go. So obviously, I'm gonna have to, bend and shape with the hobby and what's works. Like ultimately, I'd like to keep doing this as my full-time jam, and my just fell in the garbage can. On that,
I heard something. I heard something like shh.
Yeah.
I will say while you grab your snake, I think we're past the point that this is a phase or something like that. Like I think this is legit now. This is a legit section of the hobby. He's going home. Oh no, he's going to check out the ball pythons. Oh, there he goes.
He's going home. Oh, yep, he's going home now.
He needs a drink.
Yeah, he's going home.
I think that's so awesome. But I don't think this is a fad. I think we're past the point that it's a fad. Somehow it made it through, and now this is like a legit. This by itself is a legit hobby, but then when you combine it to the bioactivity portion of it,
Absolutely.
And you can combine like really cool species with other cool species.
Right.
If and when I ever get my giant vivarium thing built, I'm going to have some more exotic stuff in there as far as isopods are concerned, because I think, yeah, some of them will get eaten or whatever, but that guy's so dope. What morph is that? Like what?
It's a bumblebee.
Okay. Because like ball pythons were a fad forever, and they haven't gone anywhere. Like prices are bigger than they've ever been.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I've thought about getting into breeding the ball pythons, and I still may, at some point, but I just kind of like with that, I kind of look at that as there's so many people already breeding.
Dude, so many people get into it like a get rich quick thing.
Yeah.
And like, God bless the people that get like a crazy morph out of nowhere.
Right.
But like, God bless those people. Like the first guy who got what's the one that has like brain damage? That's beautiful. Or the scaleless. The scaleless one is huge right now.
Well, in fact, even like these guys right here, the
bumblebees, yeah.
Bumblebee is part of the spider morph, and I got well before I even knew anything about that that's like a head wobble and neurological.
Yeah.
But like this guy has absolutely no issues. He's not got any head wobble going,
you got lucky.
It's a gal, actually. It's a gal.
You got lucky. I've seen some videos that like made me sick.
Oh yeah, it can be totally horrible. say I got her, well before I knew about that whole head wobble thing and the neurological disorders that it can do. And not saying that I'm pro or against breeding them, but I personally won't be breeding her because it's just, I'm lucky enough to have one that doesn't have the head wobble and neurological disorder issues. But, I don't necessarily want to tempt fate and, breed her to somebody else and get a clutch of issues,
Of ding dong snakes.
Yeah.
Those words we can't use anymore.
Yeah.
What is this? DEA asked, do you have any tips to be successful at keeping and breeding them? I'm assuming isopods. Plus, this is not a major part of the pet trade. It's not going anywhere now. Oh, it's now a major part. I think it means it's now a major part of the pet trade.
Yeah, major part. Absolutely. Do I have any tips for doing it? Breeding?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is. It's now part of it. My tip for breeding is just leave them the hell alone.
Yeah.
Like, make sure they're fed and moist to their liking, and then leave them alone. Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. A lot of people will get a hold of me. Hey, I've had my isopods from you for X amount of time, and I'm not seeing them breed or anything like that. And that's okay. How often are you feeding? How often are you moistening? And they're like, oh, I check on them every day. And it's like, stop
what you're doing because you are wrecking it, bro.
Yeah. So basically, like my isopods, I have them on a strict schedule that they do things. Sorry, I gotta go. He's going in the no spot.
Okay. I'll continue with that. So you'll have species that don't breed. And when you first start with isopod, a new species, it is so hard not to check on them because you want to see those babies. You want to be there when they pop out. But it's like, odds are you're not going to be there when they pop out unless you poke one that's pregnant and it freaks out and bursts the babies.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrifying, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
That happened to me once on accident, and I almost shit my pants. Like, I was like, what the? And then I said an F word, which I won't say again because I don't want to lose the monetization I'll never get.
Hairy cow, wasn't it?
No, it was the Giant Canyon.
Oh, really? Okay.
So speaking of species I leave alone, I never bother those guys, and I got to get rid of them because they are like this deep. They're just basically, they're not crawling on each other, but yeah. When I put new leaves in there the other day, and it was just like the old leaves were just like, I was like, oh my God.
Shaking.
So yeah, so I just put my toad in there. I was like, here, have some of this. And I take them out every afternoon because I don't want them to eat him like they're going to eat him, That's no good. But they burrow too much to be like good feeders.
Yeah.
I wonder if I got to get a hold of one of those mealworm bowls with the lip. I wonder if they'd have a really hard time getting out of that because they're not good climbers. None of the isopods are good climbers to use as feeders. Anyway, so that's really the only tip really is leave them alone, right? Give them the right conditions and leave them alone.
Most part, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is finding the moisture level that's going to work for you. Because I mean, since just going from my house to out here, like my moistening and feeding schedule has changed like significantly. In the house, every 4 days I'd go through and they'd still be okay, but I'd kind of revamp the moisture a little bit, toss them some food and off to the races, But out here, because of the heat out here, difference and having to run the AC constantly and a big fan in order to circulate that cool air around, it dries out my bin so much faster. So like every other day I have to do moistening now. So with all these isopods, it's a lot of work. It's definitely doubled in the work out here. So there's another con for you.
I have an experiment I want to try with you after. I'm going to bring it up after the episode.
Okay.
And once we do it, we'll go public with it. How's that sound?
Sure.
I have an experiment for your she shed.
The she shed.
The Shay Shack. All right. So so DEA said his Porcello Hoffman Segi just started to reproduce, which is awesome. But I will tell you, that is one of the tips I was going to get to before you posted this, DEA, is with Hoffs, and I've seen this myself in my own collection, is if they start to slow down breeding, split them off. So the females get very territorial, so they like a certain amount of space. So the more space they have to reproduce, they're going to use it to reproduce. But if they're crammed together, they tend not to. They tend to like literally fight off the males.
Yeah. I've seen
they don't produce.
I've seen that in quite a few different bins of mine where like for instance the Magnificus as well, and
like the bigger Porcellios.
Yeah, and a couple other larger species. They almost like keep their numbers in check due to the size of their enclosure. And I've actually, like, after I upgraded them to a different bin or split them off to two different, loaded. Like,
yeah,
it's like I've heard things just went stagnant for them, and they're breeding, and now they got a new hotel room to wreck, basically.
Yeah, it's a new hotel room to wreck. I let that slide right by. My brain was like, wait a minute, because hotel sex is one of the best conversations of all time, because when you check in a hotel with your significant other, you are going to disrespect that room. So you're about to do things you would never do in your house. Not ever once.
My favorite was my wife looking up and seeing other people's handprints in a motel one time. And we're like, oh, no. Then you think
yes.
Just you.
It's not just you. You got to remember, full love.
It's open for the public.
I think we're close to drawing to the end here. This has been a longer episode, but I knew it would be because we're already good friends. So I will say, watch who you buy from. The first person I bought from was this clown on eBay.
Oh no!
It was clowns on eBay that I bought from someone.
Yeah.
It was you, bro.
I know.
And now we're homies.
It was you. Or no, wait, you. It was you.
They all died. None of those bred. Josh Kane sent me like 50 clowns a couple months ago, and they're doing great. But I got them from you. I got them from two other people as like reloads, and they just kept dying. I don't know what I was doing. And I think I had charcoal, the big pieces of lump charcoal in there for them to climb on. And they loved it. They were always there, but I took those out. There's like a couple of bigger chunks, but not like the bricks that I had in there. Right. And they're doing great now. So I think that was it. So don't.
For me, with the clowns, how I keep them is basically I let them dry out between moisture. Same thing with the zebras. They like the same thing. Seems like let them kind of dry out between moisture. When you see them congregating at the moisture, that's the little bit that's left. That's when I kind of moisten them, and then they're like, "Yay, it rained!" And then they go all crazy and breed a bunch and like give each other high fives and stuff because it's
sexual high fives. All right,
yeah, pretty sweet. But yeah, it's crazy. Like before, I was trying to keep them at a certain moisture level, like I do. Like say my rubber duckies, I try to keep them at a certain particular moisture level all the time, but those guys, for some reason, if you let them dry out almost bone dry between, it seems to keep them going the best. That's how I keep them, and that seems to be working. So I
just recently did it on accident, so we'll see if that helps.
What's that?
I recently did it on accident, so we'll see if that helped. Yeah, I saw your giant bin of clowns, and I was jealous.
Yeah.
So
all the clowns.
All right, my brother. I'm going to call it. So thanks for having me. Thanks for me having you. Thanks.
We had each other.
We had each other. It was a moment.
And now the snake is now taken to the dog bed.
Oh, he heard you talking about it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go check it out. Everybody else seems to like
this thing smells like tortoise, bearded dragon, and dog.
Yeah. In fact, even my daughter's, she's got a budgie.
Okay.
we bring him out every once in a while, let him kind of dink around out here and fly around and stuff and perch on things. And he always finds the dog bed and hangs out in the dog bed. Like every animal that enters this room likes the dog bed. It's so weird.
We need to market that dog bed.
Even when we were in the house and we'd let the tortoise roam around in the house, she would find the dog bed and go lay on the dog bed. Actually kick the dogs out of the bed in order to lay in the dog bed.
We need to market that dog bed. You need to sell those on your page for like $50 a piece. Universal bed. Once we sign off, Cheyenne's just going to be passed out on that dog bed.
Yeah.
Right?
It doubles.
All right.
Hello.
All right, brother. I will talk to you later. I can talk to you all night. Like, this could be a 5-hour episode. I know. So
do this all day.
I'll talk to you later. We'll have you back pretty soon, probably. So have a great day. Good luck with your growing business. And congratulations on all those, like, new network
crazy things
people you have. That's awesome.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So, all right. Thanks, DEA, for a great show. Thanks, Cheyenne, for coming on. I'm going to give the closing statements. So,
okay. So, are we
bro?
Deal or what?
Are we talking afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll call you on Facebook Live afterwards. Is that fair?
We'll give it a shot. My phone's about dead, so.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. You call me if you have a charger. All right. All right, brother. Peace. What a great show. All right. Thanks for liking it, DEA. I just love having these conversations with friends. Like, these people have all become friends to me, basically. So, and if they haven't already, they are now. So, like Russ Wilson, I consider him a friend now, and I've had him on the show one time, but he's such a good guy. So good community. Again, mental health. Get help if you need it. If you think you need it, you need it. So go get it. Friends are great. Friends are great to have, but get that professional help because it'll definitely help you out. I swear to God, it's the best. There's no shame in it whatsoever. Other than that, keep your pods happy. If you haven't already, click like, subscribe, click the bell icon, tell a friend. I don't know. Tell someone else, share it around your Facebook or your webpage. There's a lot of cool stuff in our past episodes to check out too. Next week, we are going to talk to Kyle Bunch. Thanks, DEA. Next week, we are going to talk to Kyle Bunch, and we're going to talk about just isopods. So I know we basically talked about isopods today. We didn't mean to. But we're going to talk about isopods and some of the challenges of keeping them in a small space. Like, he has a very limited space. And we're going to do some of that. He's a good guy. I think it'll be a good conversation. So join us for that. It'll at least be entertaining. I promise. And later this week, I think I'm going to do a solo video about mental health. I know it has nothing to do with isopods, but it kind of does. I'll tie it together. So thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And I forgot to click the second button.